so with bonding, there's a couple of different methods. And so I go more into my method, and then there's a little bit about some other methods. All right, so my method, and so these are bonding sessions that you do for about 10 to 15 minutes a day or several times a day. And you always want to end on a good note, ideally, as best you can. So what I do is you get a towel and place it on a table, and you place both bunnies side by side. And so you want them side by side or face to face. You do not want them face to tail, because then they're going to see the bunny butt and be like, I got to attack that bunny butt. But if they're face to face or side by side, then there's not that stimulation. So what I start to do is first pet their foreheads. And it's calming, you're mimicking, the other rabbit is grooming them, and it's relaxing. And so then what I'll do is I will periodically stop petting them, and there'll be a few seconds while they just sit there. And then they'll be like, hey, how come you stopped petting me? And they'll see the other bunny, and either they want to groom the other bunny, or they'll get relaxed, or they'll still be looking for you. Why did you stop petting me? And so based on their reaction, if they're kind of like, uh-oh, who's that other bunny? Okay, pet, 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 pet. So if there's any tension, aggression, fear, petting them more. If they're curious, if they're grooming the other bunny, then you can let them have some of the, some more time to kind of interact with the other bunny. If they start grooming, or if they eat or something like that, that's okay. But if they're kind of acting like, I don't know, I'm not sure about this other bunny, I might not be crazy about him, pet, 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 and then just give them a few minutes, or a few seconds, and then pet, 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 pet. And so gradually over time, I give them longer and longer time with me not petting them so that they can interact. And, again, as soon as they show some unhappiness, start petting them immediately. And, well, let's see. And so you can kind of see that behavior with these two lion heads, that they're kind of, front or sideways and interacting well. Okay. So once that's going well, then I like to move to a neutral X pen. So not his pen, not her pen, but a different pen. And so maybe in the middle of the room, and it's just me, the bunnies, and a big thick towel. So you don't want a cage or a hide box that they could get, fight in, and then it's hard to get them out. Sometimes if you put a litter box in, one bunny says, this is my litter box, and gets territorial about it. So you don't necessarily want to put a litter box in, but you can put food in there, and that'll be a nice distraction too. And sometimes they'll enjoy that, and if they're eating together, that also can help them bond. So I sit on the floor and with them, and whenever they go near each other, I'm going to start petting them. And then, again, kind of let up petting and see how they interact. And if everything is good and positive, nobody's having any attitude, kind of let them do their thing. But just whenever they get near each other, being really careful and monitoring their behavior, so that they start to show aggression or attitude, I can pet them or kind of, push them away from each other. And so the nice thing about having a big, thick towel is if they do start fighting, you just throw it over one and grab it and pull it away. And so, because if you use your bare hands, that's how you're going to get bitten. So at some point, as you're going on and everything's going well, they're interacting fine, and you're just sitting back watching them, and then you can move out of the pen and just leave them in the pen alone, and they're doing fine. And, at that point, you can probably give them a litter box, maybe give them some toys, definitely give them food. You can expand your pen, make it bigger, or even give them the run of a room, and so that they're interacting out in the room, but they're still not in their X pens together, because that's their home. So, first you want to just kind of have them be out and about and running around a shared common area or the play area, and let them just, bond further that way. Then you can make their pen into one big pen, their individual pens, and make it into one big shared pen, and then that can be their home. But you do want to monitor them and make sure that there's no issues. But usually at that point, you're good. So... And then ideally at first, not, just always being there, you could clean the house or watch TV or something while they're interacting, but then separate them when you're not monitoring them. And then eventually you'll be able to leave them alone together. Okay. So method 2, and this is more of what Cat does, and also other people will do this, is you can get a top opening carrier. You don't want it to be too huge. You want it to be medium or small, depending on the size of the bunnies. And ideally the top opening one so that you can reach in easily to calm them if there's any problems. And the thing with the carrier, it's stressful. Usually you're carrying them around with you wherever you go. So they're like, oh my God, what's going on? And they're a little too squished to fight and get away. So they're not as likely to fight. And it's obviously neither one of theirs territory. So it's a totally new place. And so you can take them on drives, walks. You can, sit and do, office work and stuff with them right by your side. Certainly you do want to have them come out for potty breaks and drinking and eating and stuff like that. So you don't want it to be too long. The other thing that people will do is those carriers, those strollers. Put them in a stroller, take them for a walk together. So it's kind of like, and a lot of people talk about taking them for a car ride. It's the same type of effect. You put them in the carrier, a lot of strange noises, strange movements, and they're stressed. And so they're too stressed to care about attacking the bunny next to them. And then they're sharing the experience. So it's like they're helping to calm each other, that they're, okay, we can get through this together. So that will help with the bonding process, is to undergo the stressful event. So, and now you can enjoy the fruits of your labor. And here we can watch these two bunnies be curious and naughty. So. What's that? What's that? Oh my God. So as I said, fun to watch them interact and hang out together. But of course, these two, they were obtained together, brother and sister, and they unbonded. So, but they both got adopted to separate homes and have girlfriend and boyfriend.